Behind me is my Murcielago and my Raptor, and they have costed me a fortune lately.
And in this video, you'll find out how much. I bought my Raptor back in early 2022 in hopes of it being a good daily tow rig and fun off-road haver. I specifically wanted the Gen 2 because of its modern and luxury refinements over the Gen 1, and that the Gen 3s were too expensive at the time. Now, there was one big known issue that people warned me about this truck, and unfortunately that very thing has now happened to it. The Murcielago, on the other hand, just completed a long road trip all the way from Arizona up to Northern California, and let's say a couple of things started malfunctioning throughout, so we had to get those covered. Which out of these vehicles will rack up a bigger bill? Stay tuned to find out.
Alright, so listen to the sound of my Raptor startup. Oh yeah! That right there is some good old cam phaser rattle. So this is not only a thing on the Gen 2 Raptors, but frankly any Ford F-150 with this 3.5 V6 EcoBoost or whatever from this era. Basically, yeah, there's a little bead or something that like breaks loose in the cam phaser region, and then it leads to that rattle, which the rattle itself is just like, I believe, like no oil pressure or no oil getting in. But if you let that consistently happen for lengths amount of time, you can screw up the timing on your motor, which can eventually maybe make your motor explode, who knows. He's gonna get taken care of, and we're gonna go drop her off at Ford, and it's not gonna be cheap. So this will be the true Raptor tax they'll have to pay for buying this one. And I guess the freaking finger start doesn't, what do you call it? The touch entry doesn't freaking, that ain't working either. Pulling into the Ford service center. Gonna be saying goodbye to this girl for a few days. You know what's diabolical? Is that this is the second time this baby's been here for this. Like, it has had it on record in the past at some point that it's had the cam phaser recall done. So that would have been probably when it was back under warranty. It's a 2018 truck, definitely not under warranty anymore. It's a shame when you have to service a recall part and then it just happens again. Like, no matter what cam phaser they put in there, it's gonna rattle again at some point. It's probably had like 60K miles put on it since the job was done, I'm guessing. Okay. So, got it. We'll be back when she has 200K. Actually hits that. Yeah. So Murcielago post road trip damage. Let's see what we got here. Obviously, one wing is up and the other one is down. So in the previous car week videos, when we tried to do the technique to keep them both up, it only worked temporarily, and essentially what it actually ended up doing is shorting something or who knows what, and now the wings are off sync. So I believe we just need to apply voltage back to this one and it'll be working properly with the other one. What's a little bigger of an issue is that when we were loading this car up in the trailer, this mirror on the left was not going in when I pressed the button.
My mirror's not working.
Your mirrors aren't moving in?
I'm pressing mirror button and it's not moving in. But the other one did, and now the other one won't go out. So if I press the button, you can literally hear the motor. Yeah, the gears are just spinning. They're not hooking onto anything. So that one's a bigger problem because simply just driving out of here, it's facing inward. I can't see anything on this side. And normally, like, you could survive without a passenger mirror on a normal car. But this car, there's literally, like, you're completely blind on this entire rear end. So I, like, forcefully have to have a passenger now to guide me to get these mirrors fixed. Because, yeah, I'm literally blind on this entire side of the car. So it's not worth driving and crashing into someone. So yeah, we're gonna go take this to a shop, and also while we're there, we might as well get it serviced with the fluids and all whatnot, because it's probably due for that after a long road trip. But we'll just be adding up the bills. This is my view right now. It's just more of the car. I don't see anything off to the side of the car. It's just car, because that mirror is inward, but Justin's my mirror.
Yup.
Alright, we're gonna have to make a right lane change as we exit off the freeway. Am I clear?
Let me check real quick. Yeah, you're clear for one lane.
One lane, there's a truck over there. It's on
stick my head out the window to see if you're clear.
Yeah, he's on the right side, and even he can't see anything. He has to fully freaking pop his head. There's the truck. Alright. Yeah, we gotta make sure.
Yeah, you're good.
When one wing goes down, the other one stays up. But we made it in one piece. I didn't sideswipe someone on my passenger side, even though this mirror has still been freaking... Yeah, she's still turned in. Our ride home is here, since we're dropping this puppy off at Corsa Motorsports here in Arizona. You got space for 2 more on your way back?
I sure do.
Dude, look at that.
That's hard.
That is gangster. This is the way to do it. This is like aftermarket, but not too over the top. Just subtle painted carbon hood. He on the rotiforms. Roadster.
Both of my cars were now in good hands. We spent the next couple weeks working on the Porsche 997, to which you guys would have seen that content now on the channel. With us being occupied on that, before we knew it, it was then time to pick up both of my cars.
It's been a week, and we are now headed over to Corsa to go pick up the pumpkin. So the car is here, back better than ever. So we got the mirrors troubleshooted. They actually used some gear pieces off of RC cars because there are many little gears and they're impossible to actually source out from Lamborghini themselves. So you got to find aftermarket solutions, but the mirrors should now work. Now I'm definitely going to be using them a lot less, just knowing that they can break again. It's impossible to find parts for it. So we'll be taking care of that. As far as the wings, they got them back in sync and they were actually able to keep them stuck up. They're now basically in a sequence that even if the car is entirely off, they will stay up no matter what, no matter when I'm driving, no matter what happens. They aren't going down, but if I do change the sequence and allow them to modulate and function, it would mean that whenever you do have the car sitting with power off, they will always default to being down. So with them stuck up like this, you could hard park and have your wings always up. Let me know in the comments below if you prefer this or if you'd like them to go back to multi-functioning and have them down. But for now, I like them like this. Murcielago means bat, and these are my bat wings. So we're gonna keep rocking like this. And she's got new fluids. Oil change has been done. So we're gonna go hop in here. Oh man, never gets old. I think my door is slightly getting out of alignment a little bit. Yeah, it's not even closed all the way. Okay, no driver door light anymore, so we're in the clear on this. No check engine light. You never know when you'll be blessed with a check engine on a Mercy. It tends to just hop in and out on my dash, but we don't have it right now, so that's a good sign. Well, the car has made it home with no issues, no new lights, and that's always a good sign. Now, I mentioned the door earlier, and I've kind of noticed something. Listen to this. So this is the door binding on the weather stripping that's right here. I feel like the door is a little bit too far inside, but will she shut? I mean, she still shuts. You can see that this is the weather stripping right here, and you can see how it kind of folds in on itself right at that spot, and that is what is kind of creating some friction between the door and the weather strip. I'm only showing you guys this because it is just simply the reality of what it's like having one of these things. There's always something new that pops up. But in terms of the bill for the fluids, the mirrors, troubleshooting the wings, it came out to around $2,500, which is honestly more than I expected, for at least going in with thinking it would be simple things, not like, you know, a freaking clutch job or something else crazy. But that's just Lambo tax right there. Now the Raptor, on the other hand, is back, but it cost me more than the Mercy did. $47.62 is what we got here from Earnhardt Ford. Now, when I was doing some digging, I had gotten some higher estimates from some other Ford dealers around that a cam phaser job could be upwards into the $6,000 range. And we also lucked out because they quoted me for the fact that my front skid plate right here is a little bit dented in. It's not entirely straight because we may or may not have bashed this thing into a sand dune previously. When they were working on it, they thought because the skid plate is bent, it bent some bolts behind it, and then to extract those bolts would cost a lot more hours of labor, but it turned out those bolts came right out, so the total ended up being less than they quoted me for, but yeah, $4,700. It freaking hurts. My recommendation if you want a Raptor is honestly, if you want a cheap one, get the Gen 1s with the V8s, or if you want to splurge and have a nicer, more luxurious Raptor, just get a Gen 3 at this point, because now they've depreciated somewhat and they've entirely solved the cam phaser issue. But rather conveniently, both of these vehicles have costed me quite the penny recently, and we are about to merge them together because we are going on a little road trip soon. And just like that, the two vehicles have been conjoined together. The Mercy right here is loaded up because I'm trailering it over to Orange County for the start of New Rally. Now, based on how the videos have been performing, I can kind of tell that some people are starting to get tired of Mercy content. I can understand it is less relatable. It may not be as satisfying as build content, and people might just be tired of rallies in general. But New Rally is going to be an absolute first for me. It's going to be a first rally in general for the car, which is going to be honestly a greater risk than our giant car week road trip we just did. I'm really putting her through her paces. They're calling the rally Carcella, and it is going from Orange County to Vegas, then up to Zion National Park. So it's going to be more supercar content, and I know there are people out there that may not be as interested in that, but just give it a chance because I have a good feeling that these are going to be some wild couple of videos that you're going to get following this rally. So that's what will be posted later on, later in the week or next week following onto the channel. I can't lie, I'm pretty nervous. Obviously, I was nervous to take it on a big road trip, and I think rallying a car is probably one of the most brutal things you can do to it, because not only are you road tripping, you're road tripping while going like 110% on it, doing pulls, doing flybys, going hard. So I could definitely see people questioning my choice, but one way to look at it is if you're able to get your dream car at this age, why not make the absolute most of it and do every little possible opportunity that you can with the car. That's my ending point right here, but thank you guys for watching this like week in the life, I guess if you want to call it, vlog. But stay tuned, more good content is coming.